This week in Boomtown, Columbus says rising costs and growing demand mean your water and power bills could jump by double digits.
People are struggling to make ends meet already. I'm definitely not looking forward to another way to struggle to make ends meet.
So what's driving the increases and how much more you could be paying each year? Plus, violent crime is down in the capital city. And now city leaders are planning fewer police and fire classes next year. So we asked the mayor and the chief up front if the proposed budget is keeping up with a growing city. And a historic Columbus church becomes the city's newest music venue, keeping its soul intact. 10 TV's Jay Plyburn is on set this week to tell us why this project matters so much. Central Ohio certainly is booming. We all see it and we all can feel it. So here's what we uncovered this week in Boomtown. Thanks so much for joining us for This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. Another busy week in the books, so let's get to some headlines right now. Ohio Health is expanding services in Pickerington. This week, City Council members announced plans to build out the ER by another 25%. That's a $65 million expansion with its busiest suburban emergency room. And those plans are now going through the approval process with the Planning and Zoning Commission. Over to Dublin, construction at the 161 and Post Road interchange near Bridge Park is officially wrapped up. That means the major delays are now over for drivers. ODOT and Dublin say the new ramps and the layout should make that busy US 33 connection a lot safer and a whole lot smoother. And get this, a fast food favorite is coming back to Columbus after nearly 20 years. Zaxby's is officially returning. The chicken chain just announced plans for 10 new Ohio locations split between Columbus and Dayton. One of those will be a drive-through in Liberty Township. We're expecting location details soon, but the company says one thing is for sure, Zaxby's is on its way back as Central Ohio grows. Well, you may need to start preparing to pay more on your water bill. This week we learned the city of Columbus wants to increase your rates by more than 11%. Columbus says it is time to invest in the city's infrastructure, but those improvements will come at a cost. City leaders say in order to deliver clean water to a growing city, it has to build more water plants and more lines. Well, the current water plant off Home Road in Delaware County is $2.3 billion. And that's not the only project people will be asked to pay for with this rate increase. 10 TV's Kevin Landers started looking into this announcement to find out where this money is going and just how much it's going to cost you.
From ensuring the water that comes out of your tap is safe to drink, to building 2 up-ground reservoirs to battle the impacts of drought, to removing lead from water pipes and building more rain gardens to reduce stormwater overflows. All of it costs money. The city plans to charge residents more to pay for it. The city says after a decade of holding price increases at or below 5%, it's time for a price adjustment. The city blames inflationary costs. The other issue, keeping up with growth. Columbus's population is expected to reach 3 million people by 2050. Here's what the city is asking for: an 11.7% increase for water, sanitary sewers, and stormwater. That translates to more than $100 more per year for Columbus customers who use 165 gallons of water a day. That price would jump to $149 more per year if you live outside the city. If you get your power from Columbus, you could be looking at a possible 13% increase on your bill. The city says it's the first price hike in 18 years for its 19,000 customers. It blames the price jump on the high cost of energy. Columbus plans to use the money to complete its smart lighting project that would install LED lighting for all streetlights in the next 3 years and add streetlights to unlit neighborhoods.
Kevin, thank you so much. So now this reading comes at a time when Ohio is hungry for more power. A growing population and booming tech industry has electric rates rising. We've seen a 3% increase statewide since May in the AEP territory. Experts say Ohioans are paying more for power, in part because of a limited supply of energy producers and high demand.
When you see demand increase and you don't see supply correspondingly increase, any economist will tell you that's a recipe for increases in price.
Well, thankfully, some help is on the way. In May, lawmakers passed House Bill 15 to help reform the state's energy policy. One of the things it does is eliminate the $1.50 subsidy for coal plants. The other thing the bill does is encourage in-state energy development. Well, on the topic of funding now, this week the City of Columbus unveiled next year's operating budget. Leaders are allocating more than $1 billion, and the mayor says a big chunk is for public safety. Part of that is getting new officers on the streets of a growing city. But the proposed budget would fund fewer recruits. 10 TV's Carla Rogner went to the mayor's announcement at City Hall this week, and here's what she learned about how city leaders will spend the money.
Say this budget is focused first and foremost on safety and stability. And when we turn to public safety, we're incredibly blessed.
Mayor Ginther credited the police department for the lowest violent crime rates since 2007. This year's budget would fund fewer police recruits than last year. In 2025, the city planned 3 police classes. Next year, there's enough money for 2. The city is also planning 1 fire academy class compared to 3 classes 2 years ago. We asked if this is enough to meet his goal of keeping Columbus safe.
So you mentioned you want the budget to help keep up with the growing city. Do you think you'll be able to grow the police and fire departments and keep up with people who are retiring with just 2 police classes and 1 fire?
Well, obviously, I said if there are more resources available, we want to add classes. We've spent more on police and fire classes the last couple of years than we ever have in our city's history. And it's important for us to invest in that. We need more police officers, more firefighters. But we also want to make the best use of the officers and firefighters that we have.
If the budget allows, Mayor Ginther says he plans to add a 3rd police class, something Chief Bryan says would be helpful but not essential.
Are you able to get more officers in than are retiring? Are you able to keep those numbers stable?
And so our attrition numbers have decreased, so we're not seeing the same amount of people that are leaving, which is a great thing. People love working for the City of Columbus, and we love having them. So while we add officers, it's true that we're losing some, but we're definitely gaining more than we're losing.
In addition to public safety, there's money budgeted to keep people in their homes, with $18 million for the new Division of Housing Stability and $5 million in emergency rental assistance. Another $31 million will go to the Division of Mobility and Parking Services to increase transportation access and safety. The budget is just about $30,000 larger than last year. Mayor Ginther says inflation is hitting the city's wallet too. He says they're trying to avoid layoffs while continuing to fund the city's priorities.
Well, this week we are focusing on a major new development in the arts, really an essential part of any boomtown. The Columbus Association for the Performing Arts, or CAPA, is gearing up to renovate a former church in downtown Columbus. 10 TV's Jay Plyburn gives you a tour.
This historic building in downtown Columbus was once filled with hymns and hallelujahs.
We're in the former Central Presbyterian Church.
Built in 1859, it's one of the longest standing structures in all of downtown.
This is the oldest photo we have of this church.
But after more than a decade of silence,
2011 was the last service.
the Columbus Association for the Performing Arts is breathing new life into the space,
We want to reopen it as a music venue.
bringing in a multitude of different sounds while carefully preserving this unique piece of history. CAPA is raising money to transform the former church into a community event space.
We're about $10 million towards our $14 million goal.
Unlike CAPA's other theaters, this one will have a stage that moves.
So we're calling it a performance platform. It can be in the middle of the room, it can be at the far end. So if someone wants to do a really intimate show with the platform in the middle, we can build a small platform in the middle and keep the rest of the floor open.
Theater in the round, you might call
Theater
it.
in the round, that's exactly right.
How many can you put in that main space?
For a standing room concert, 690.
Where does that compare to the other? I mean, obviously it's falling short of the Ohio Theater in some of these places, but It's not the smallest of the venues, is it?
No, it won't be the smallest. It fits in a gap where we have a deficit.
The build-out involves a new HVAC system, even a rooftop bar.
It reshapes the model of what it means to be in a CAPA venue.
And many facets of the former church are staying in place, like the iconic stained glass window.
Built here in Columbus by the Von Grichten Glass Studio.
The chandeliers.
We're going to put some LEDs in them.
And parts of the original pipe organ.
Our intention is to make them scenery.
Not to mention the building itself.
Is it safe to say that this project is saving this structure?
Absolutely, yeah. A developer wanted the property. Obviously, it's a marquee piece of land downtown. That did not sit right with the congregation, and they came to CAPA and asked us to develop a reuse plan and purchase the church from them.
If all goes well, by fall of 2027, the same space that once lifted voices and worship will once again be filled with music, just a different kind.
CAPA has a great history of rehabilitating historic buildings. This is part of our mission, and it's our way to give back to the city.
Well, Jay Plyburn himself joining us now. Jay, always so great to see you, especially on Boomtown here.
No, it's great to be here. And you know, as a kid who grew up in church and the arts,
yes,
this story is right up my path.
Oh
This is something I've been really excited about.
And it's such a neat story because, you know, so many people love CAPA and we know about it. This is their 6th historic space, all of them in downtown Columbus. So when you look at projects like this, and I remember you telling me a 160-year-old church and how they're revitalizing it. What do you think that tells you about Central Ohio's growth?
Well, it says a lot of things. I mean, it speaks to the demand for more live entertainment in Central Ohio. CAPA did not have to buy this building, right? They don't have to plan a renovation, but the general public is telling them they want more things like this. So they're offering it to them. By the way, this will be their 12th managed venue, 6th historic building in the downtown area, but the 12th managed venue. So CAPA is really expanding their portfolio and doing a lot of things.
And when you say audiences are saying they want more, is it because they need more frequency of different types of events or just more locations that they can choose from?
I think it's all of the above. I think they want to have things on their calendar year-round that they can go and they can experience live entertainment. We've talked a lot about people want togetherness as well, right? They want to have an opportunity to go out and meet with the folks that they know from across town, and they love theater, they love music, they love all the things that have to do with this. We talk about the business growth as well and how important that is. The numbers are pretty staggering when you see them, as far as the money that's brought in, because entertainment and the arts, these are major economic drivers. A recent study showed arts and entertainment in Columbus generates more than $7.6 billion annually. Wow. That's every year. That's just Central Ohio, supporting nearly 300,000 jobs. So when you look at the stats like that, these numbers are pretty staggering, and it shows that need for more opportunities because this is bringing more money into the economy, and it's also putting us in a better position to compete with some of the big dogs out there.
It is. And let's repeat that. You said $7.6 billion.
Billion with a B.
Wow.
Yep. So a lot of money generated through the arts and entertainment. That's just Columbus, Ohio, and that's just every year. Wow. That's not even looking at the grander plan here. And so yeah, this is one way that they're sinking a lot of money into this. It's a $14 million project, not to mention the money that was used to purchase the building. A lot of money is being spent to renovate this historic building, and I think they're going to see it pay off really quick.
I just love that. And so, you know, people support CAPA because of projects like this, because they love to feel like a big city here in Columbus, Ohio, right? Like you and I see the lineup every time they come out with the Broadway season. We're like, oh my gosh, look at what's coming to Columbus. It's really exciting when you get to see stuff like that here.
It is exciting, and projects like this will allow them to keep raising the stakes, creating more opportunities, high caliber events. It also puts us in a better position to, like I said, compete with some of the major entertainment hubs. You think of places around the country that are known for entertainment. I don't know if Columbus is one of them, not yet at least, but we're getting in a better position, and we're only talking about the live entertainment scene at this point. We haven't even gotten into the TV shows and the movies and things that are on the horizon, other projects being planned. We'll talk about those in other Boomtown stories.
That would be exciting, especially when it comes to retaining talent, right? That's the hardest thing, I think, in any growing industry here in Central Ohio. We see, you know, we're building up our talent, but then we see them leaving Central Ohio because of either better pay, better opportunities. So why not find ways to keep them here, closer to us?
I think there's a good way to keep them here, and that's to keep creating opportunities for people to come out, enjoy the live entertainment, actually see the money being spent on the entertainment venues like we are in this case. and then bring the people out. It's going to be a big event once they have that opening night in fall of 2027 or whenever it ends up being. But I'm planning to be there. That's for sure. I think it's going to be a really nice spot.
Did you tell your parents about this type of story and like what you were doing, and what did they say about this?
Absolutely.
Seeing how fast we're growing.
Well, they know how much I love the entertainment news stories, being that everybody in my family kind of comes from an entertainment background. And so my mom was quick to shoot me a text and say, oh, I love this story. And of course, my dad's a retired pastor as well. So again, coming from a world of living within the church in some respects, being there so many days out of the week, and then being raised in the arts, this is something that checks a lot of the boxes for me and my family, and I know they're excited about this equally as I am.
Well, I love this story for Boomtown, Jay, especially when we highlight how we're preserving our history as our community continues to grow.
Yep.
So.
And they didn't have to do that.
They didn't.
He said it in the story there.
Yeah,
this could have gone to a developer. They could have knocked the building down and built some modern structure there, but they are preserving this unique piece of history. Stained glass windows and everything going to stay right there in downtown Columbus.
And we do see a lot of that throughout other parts of Central Ohio. I know the Bluestone, downtown Columbus, that's another renovated church, if you will, that's now a huge event center. So again, thank you so much for bringing light to this. I think it's a great lesson as we see so many other smaller communities start to grow and try to figure out how do we redevelop some of these areas without losing our history.
Yeah, keep the history alive.
All right, Jay Piper, and thank you.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you.
Well, before we end this week's episode, some bragging rights for Central Ohio. Forbes just dropped its list of the best road trips in the USA. And guess who made the cut? Dublin, Ohio. Yep, right in our own backyard. So they call it one of the most scenic and surprisingly fun drives in the country, thanks to spots like Bridge Park, the river views, and all those easy pull-offs for food, parks, and photo ops. So if you are looking for a quick getaway without leaving the state, there you have it. Apparently you do not need to go too far. Forbes says one of the best road trips in America starts right here in Dublin. If you have any questions related to Central Ohio's growth, we would love to hear from you. Simply text us 614-460-3345. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. You can always drop a question right there in the comments section as well. Thanks so much for watching This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann, and we'll see you again next week.